News Mississippi.
It's 6:01. It's news. It's straight ahead. And it's not only tornadoes in Mississippi Saturday, like we needed more of those, but it's also a big blast of cold air. You'll find out just when it's coming. News Mississippi, 1 minute.
News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 6:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 6 o'clock hour. Tornadoes in Mississippi, 6 of them Saturday. More on that in just a minute, but first, talking about it getting major cold this week. Here's the heads up. Looks like the Arctic air is coming in Wednesday and Wednesday night. Time to start sealing up the house.
Sub-freezing temperatures will make the risk of freezing pipe.
National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Edmonston.
The coldest night is going to be the Wednesday night into Thursday morning, maybe 12 along the Highway 82 corridor down to the lower 20s around Hattiesburg.
Going to stay cold for a while, too. Rain into the weekend. Now, tornadoes. Yeah, we sure needed more of those, right? 6 twisters at least on Saturday. EF1s in Covington, Newton, Lauderdale counties, and EF2 in Jasper County.
Near Rose Hill, and that had winds of 130 miles an hour.
Joanne Coolin, meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
The storm was at its strongest point when it destroyed 5 mobile homes.
She says that's why you don't stay in a mobile home when there's a storm coming. Nobody died, amazingly. Warren County, both a former chief deputy and a paramedic died within just a couple of days of one another. Vicksburg fire paramedic Drew Rudolph, dead of a car wreck in Louisiana. Former chief deputy Other Jones, 77, dead of a heart attack. Well, speaking of tornadoes and the legislature, a senator who went through a tornado last year may be the guy who's going to be second in the Senate. Looks like Senator Giles Ward of Louisville has enough votes maybe to be named president pro tempore of the Senate. And what that is the number 2 spot. When the lieutenant governor is gone, he'll preside over the Senate. He may succeed Terry Brown, who died last year. And they'll start talking about how to spend your tax money tomorrow. The legislature meets in Jackson. So just how much do those legislators get paid?
It's costing your tax dollars to keep everyone at the Capitol. State senators and representatives have a salary of $10,000 a year.
Divided up over 3 payments. Today you get a third of it. 1st of February you get a third of it. The day you sign it out, you get the rest of it.
Representative Steve Holland. And on top of that, they get a $123 per diem to pay for food and housing. And that varies from year to year. Chip Ward, News Mississippi.
You've got News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis.
Okay. News Mississippi.
It's 7:01. It's news. It's straight ahead. And that highway you're riding on, pretty rough. Well, the state could be getting ready to fix it. And to find how do you do for the King's 80th birthday, News Mississippi, 1 minute.
News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 7:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 7 o'clock hour. Cold air coming, really cold. Talking teens Thursday morning when you wake up. Low 20s as far south as Hattiesburg and maybe the coast.
We have an Arctic front that'll be coming through on Wednesday during the day.
Mike Edmonston, National Weather Service.
Temperatures will be dropping through the afternoon, sending the wind chills into the 20s.
Time to wrap those outside pipes and don't forget to leave water dripping. Picking up the pieces in Covington and Jasper counties. 6 tornadoes in Mississippi Saturday. Nobody killed this time.
3 EF1 tornadoes, 2 EF0s, and an EF2 in Jasper County near Rose Hill.
National Weather Service meteorologist Joanne Coolin was watching the radar Saturday. They're turning up the heat at the state capitol. Just think about how much that's costing you already. Lawmakers back there for 3 months starting tomorrow. The issues?
I'm driving on a highway right now that's so damn rough that I can hardly hold my car on Highway 6. We robbed the Highway Department $30 million. We can pay that back.
Democrat Representative Steve Holland. He says the money in the state's rainy day fund could help fix a lot of problems.
So that's going to be the biggest fight.
So here we go with a 3-month battle of wills on what to do with all that money you pay in. It's 7:05. Gas under $2. It's already that cheap in a lot of places in the state, but dropped again over the weekend. And now the state average is close to going under $2 at $2.01 this morning. Cheapest $1.75 in Hattiesburg. It's a birthday party for the king this week. Elvis's 80th birthday is Thursday, and it's a big celebration in his hometown, Tupelo. And while they're getting ready to celebrate there, try this present out at Graceland. This is all about his plane.
Out on runway number 9.
The Lisa Marie and Hound Dog 2 are being auctioned off. Those two aircrafts had been on display at Elvis's Memphis home, Graceland, for the past 30 years. But the operators of Graceland have told the owners they will not renew the agreement that keeps the crafts there, and they have to move them by the end of April. The deadline to place your bid and how to do it at newsms.fm. You've got News Mississippi. I'm Iris Barnes.
You've got News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis.
News Mississippi.
It's 8:01. It's news. It's straight ahead, and hoping for some good stuff to come out of D.C.
Legislation that gets bipartisan support.
Well, how about the state capitol?
I don't want to spend every time.
News Mississippi, 1 minute.
News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 8:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 8 o'clock hour. Think the state should save more of those tax dollars or use them to fix the rough roads in schools? Well, that could be the big fight at the state capitol. The lawmakers file into their seats and turn on the election year big talk Tuesday. State Representative Steve Holland says he'd like to see some of the rainy day fund, $190 million, go to some good causes.
I don't want to spend every dime that's in the state treasurer. My gosh, we have got to get off of this put money in the bank attitude and take care of some of our public problems.
The debates, battles, and lunches with lobbyists will last 3 months. And in D.C., it's repealing parts of Obamacare and the Keystone Pipeline for the new Senate. Mississippi's Roger Wicker on CNN Sunday.
All of those things will be sent to the president with overwhelming bipartisan support. We'll see how the president reacts to that.
He says the Senate this time around will be working a 5-day week like the average Joe. Missing in Meridian, Kaylee Winstead, 13 years old, white, 5'4", 125. She's been gone since December 30th, when her mom says she saw her right before bedtime. Since then, nobody's seen her. If you know anything about it, give the family some peace of mind and call Meridian Police. It's 8:05. A truck drives off the highway, hits a tree, and then fire everywhere. Happened on Highway 18 in Copiah County, and Gregory Neal, 32, died there at the scene. Couldn't get out of the truck. Pot. While they're not even thinking about making it legal in the legislature this year, you probably heard about the group that wants you to vote on it. News Mississippi got a phone call from them.
The medical, recreational, and industrial hemp all are legalized.
That's Kelly Jacobs, and she wrote the proposal to legalize cannabis in Mississippi.
They're regulated like alcohol. Recreational cannabis is taxed 7%.
And that 7% would go to public schools for the first few years, but it's also about taking the crime away from marijuana.
Because we believe that cannabis never should have been made illegal, that the governor pardoned nonviolent cannabis convictions.
The changes with legalizing marijuana at newsms.fm. You've got News Mississippi. I'm Courtney Carter.
You've got News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis. The air cooled down at just about the right time. It might actually feel like the fair by the time it starts in just 1 week from today. I went to the state fairgrounds Tuesday and hung out with some of the people who are making it happen. The world-famous Snake Lady wasn't there yet, but they've already got the alligator on a stick tent set up, and the roller coasters are starting to look like they're supposed to. There's one guy who's seen a lot of Mississippi State Fairs.
He told me you've been here 100 years. Well, minus a few.
His name is Turkey Legs.
29th year. 29th year. What do you
Well, his real name is Elton Moore, and while he's busy getting his smoked turkey leg stand set up, he's also watching the guys in green vests and the workers in hard hats and T-shirts put together everything on the midway.
Turkey on a stick. We got Cajun seafood pistolets, homemade hamburgers, corn dogs. We got a big variety. Polish sausage. But what we're known for is our ham-cured hickory smoked turkey legs. We're who brought them into the state of Mississippi 28 years ago.
About how long does it take to get the whole thing done?
Well, it just depends on how much space you got, how much equipment you got. I'll spend a total of about right at 2 weeks from the time I start to get the equipment in, clean it up, repair it, get everything set in place. It's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And then some of these other guys that travel the circuit, they got 9 or 10 places in here. Well, it takes them a good week to set up, to get everything clean and ready to go.
And while you can hear the sounds of the fair in just about a week, what you won't be able to get from this reporter is a fair account of just what the fair smells like. It's a smell that has come with fairs and carnivals in this country for over 100 years. A deep-fried food scent that could draw in the hardcore vegetarian. In just a week, you'll be able to get your funnel cakes, chocolate-dipped bananas, and take the kids on the ride of their life. Have fun. Chris Davis, News Mississippi.
News Mississippi.
It's 7:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 7 o'clock hour. A News Mississippi investigation. Your money and the new state crime lab. Your state lawmakers have just spent $36 million to build a brand new state-of-the-art crime lab to help solve murders, put rapists in jail, and get DUI convictions, and make solid cases for your local law enforcement. What you may not know is that the crew at the old crime lab may have to stay right where they are unless the budget guys in the legislature can come through. The reason, according to Sam Howell, director for the State Crime Lab, is that even though they gave the go-ahead to build the new facility, neither the House nor the Senate put money in the budget for the move.
It's going to be very costly to move in, and right now we haven't had an appropriation for moving costs.
Now, the current building was built back in '76. It's one story, and they're running out of space. And the equipment is delicate. You can't just pack it up in the back of a pickup and move it over.
I just don't see that happening, but yeah, obviously if there's no money to move, we won't move.
He estimates that could take a little over $500,000, which he says he can't take from any other part of his budget because of new legislative rules. And News Mississippi talked to State Senator Dean Kirby, who was instrumental in getting the whole crime lab project going. He says he's sure the money will be there. Keeping you from dying on a Mississippi highway with more state troopers. The big blue out was Wednesday at the Capitol. For trooper wife Candy, it's less about the politics and more about seeing her husband come through the kitchen door after his shift.
I'm very concerned about him. There's no backup, so if they're out there, then they're out there pretty much alone.
That's why she was at the Capitol Wednesday.
God is my witness, help is on the way.
That help is $7 million, and State Senator Bryce Wiggins of Pascagoula isn't sure you can afford it this year.
We have to balance our budget, unlike Congress.
For Candy, though, it's the bottom line when things happen like the ice storm.
My husband was left covering several counties an hour or more away. That's a big concern.
Just why somebody would think that taking pictures of somebody who had dementia since 2000 would be necessary? Well, the court wants to find out. Clayton Kelly charged with snapping pics of Senator Thad Cochran's wife.
On May 15th, this office received information of a possible exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Clayton Kelly gained entrance to the grounds of St. Catherine's Village.
Now his opponent, Senator Chris McDaniel, saying there's no connection there. Kelly is a McDaniel supporter, though, with a political blog. That's where he posted the pictures. He's due in court again Thursday. The pictures of Rose Cochran. A busy day in court in Madison Thursday. News Mississippi's Chip Ward was there.
I think this is all about
Here's
politics.
what happened. Clayton Kelly has new charges of taking a photo without permission and conspiracy. And his charge on exploiting a vulnerable adult now goes to grand jury. He's the guy accused of going into Senator Thad Cochran's bedridden wife's nursing home and taking pictures of her and putting them online. Here's more of what happened. Laurel soccer coach Richard Sager was arrested and charged with conspiracy and tampering with evidence. Tea Party chair Mark Mayfield charged with conspiracy. He's already paid his bond and waived his preliminary hearing. And another guy, John Mary, was charged. Now Kevin Camp, Kelly's attorney, says Kelly didn't know any of these guys. Here's what he thinks about all this.
All these other people are being brought in simply because this is Rose Cochran. There's a race that's going on.
Now to Thursday's arrest. It was more charges for blogger Clayton Kelly. Chip Ward.
Also, Laurel soccer coach Richard Sager was charged with tampering with evidence. Both him and Kelly charged with conspiracy, along with two others. One of them, Tea Party chair Mark Mayfield, who's already paid his bond and waived his preliminary hearing. Here's what his lawyer thinks about that.
I don't understand the charge. It makes no sense whatsoever. Just like a $250,000 bond doesn't make sense for someone who is literally a pillar in his community.
Also, another guy, John Mary, has been charged. Now for Clayton, his exploitation of a vulnerable adult charge is now headed to a grand jury, even though his lawyer, Kevin Camp, does not agree with it.
How much money did he get?
I haven't seen that he's gotten any currency.
Now you can hear audio from the courtroom and what the attorneys have to say and what happens next at newsms.fm.
Statewide news source, 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 11:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chelsea Corona with what you need to know for the 11 o'clock hour. The Rose Cochran picture scandal, one of the main players is dead this morning. News director Chris Davis, what happened?
Chelsea, there's not a whole lot of information that's coming out right now about the death of attorney Mark Mayfield in Madison County, except that the Clarion Ledger is saying it was a suicide, a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his house in Ridgeland. Now, you'll remember he was a higher up in the Tea Party in Madison County, and he was charged and got the harshest bail in that Rose Cochran picture scandal. Prosecutors saying he helped Clayton Kelly in getting that picture of Rose Cochran in the nursing home. That's the wife of Senator Thad Cochran. From the newsroom, I'm Chris Davis. We'll have more on this story just as soon as it comes out.
Right now, we're going to go first to the campaign headquarters in the hottest race perhaps in recent Mississippi history, and that's incumbent Senator Thad Cochran versus challenger Chris McDaniel, who's a state senator here in Mississippi. You've probably been hearing a lot about that race if you haven't been asleep somewhere, just because this has been kind of one of the nastier races, and I think there are a lot of people, most people would agree with that if they've been keeping up. So first to the McDaniel campaign headquarters, which is in Hattiesburg at the Convention Center. Live down there is Kelly Center. How you doing, Kelly?
Good evening, Chris. It is beginning now to become a very full house here at the Hattiesburg Terrace Convention Center. Definitely looks along generational lines. Very, very young voters in the crowd so far here tonight, anticipating what most would seem to be an upset. But again, what would an upset be? If the state senator was able to indeed pull it off, or would him just come within 3 or 4 percentage points? Would that be considered an upset? But of course, you go for the entire enchilada tonight, and there's genuine optimism in the McDaniel campaign that they can indeed do that tonight. As we continue to report throughout the evening, we're going to be looking at some of the key counties that the McDaniel campaign itself says might be a good barometer as to whether they can indeed pull off the upset, and how the state senator does in those counties. And again, we talked about the generational lines. What will happen? Will the younger vote get out to support the more popular McDaniel among the younger voters, or will the more traditionally entrenched Republican liners turn out for U.S. Senator Thad Cochran? So those are some of the stories that we'll be following tonight at the Lake Terrace Convention Center here in Hattiesburg, side of the Chris McDaniel campaign.
All right, thanks, Kelly Center. We'll be coming back to you in just a little while. And now, about 100 miles north at the Hilton on County Line Road in Jackson is the Thad Cochran campaign. Tonight, Iris Barnes is there.
Hey, Chris, you're getting a totally different picture here at this election night celebration for Senator Thad Cochran. Right now, it's almost an empty room. The hotel workers are doing a few final touches, putting out some American flags, lots of fruit, lots of drinks, but other than a platform filled with media from national to local, it has been pretty quiet here. Congressman Greg Hoffer among the first to actually come in. We got a chance to speak with him. He said he is very optimistic, very excited, and just waiting to see the final numbers.
It is 7:16, 16 past 7 o'clock, and you're hearing live election coverage right here on Super Talk Mississippi with the News Mississippi crew. And Chelsea Corona, you've been keeping up with things all day about voter turnout. How are people describing that?
Well, you know what? It's actually changed since this morning, because this morning there was really a low turnout just about everywhere. And surprisingly, it wasn't just in Mississippi, but it was also in the other states that had their elections as well. But turnout this morning was really low, and then as we got into the afternoon, it didn't change much. It went from low to steady, and then once 4 o'clock hit, people started hitting the polls. So especially from the coast, what we heard from Super Talk's Kip Gregory, he said that people just started fleeing in after 4 o'clock, and they really started to pick up. Before, in the afternoon hour, he told me that he was going to be surprised if we got 15% of the people there to be voting, that it was really low, and then it made a complete change, and he said that there will probably be more people at this election than there were in 2010.
So that is a big change.
Yeah.
At News MS Chelsea. It is 10:06, and that's 6 minutes past 10 o'clock, and breaking news. It looks like the election has now been called. Jared Bounds, looks like this one belongs to the incumbent senator.
That's right, Chris. The AP is reporting it's in the bag for Thad Cochran at this is the slimmest of votes. This is the slimmest of margins, 50.6%. That is a difference at this point with 98.1% reporting in of about 4,400 votes. So, again, the AP is calling the Senate runoff, Mississippi GOP Senate runoff for Thad Cochran.
Real quick to Iris Barnes, who is there at the Cochran party at the Mississippi Children's Museum. Iris, bet it's a big bunch of cheers. Oh, yeah, I can hear it. Iris.
The crowd is extremely excited here right now. All chances for Thad.
Okay. Hattiesburg, Kelly Sanner at the McDaniel headquarters. Kelly, how are they taking it?
Noticeably more somber. Of course, no one, although the Washington Post and other news agencies are declaring a Cochran victory, no such report has been made to the McDaniel faithful here, although they're visibly more somber as the numbers on their overhead projection screen have not changed much percentage-wise, and as the waning votes come in, I think there's becoming a self-revelation to many of the people here that Cochran may emerge victorious tonight. But, of course, going around talking to some of his supporters, the big topic of discussion, of course, is any Democratic crossover that may have had an influence in this race. And it'll certainly be fodder for talk show hosts in the weeks to come. Are some of the very people that may have influenced a Cochran victory tonight be the very same people that vote against Cochran in the fall when he faces Travis Childers, if indeed that is the way that this pans out at this late hour. But that is the topic of discussion around the room in an almost shoulder-to-shoulder crowd at the Hattiesburg Convention Center, but again, noticeably more somber as people are, it looks like, beginning to let the numbers actually sink in and realize that as time goes on, it does not look like their candidate, Chris McDaniel, will emerge victorious. That's the way it looks from here, live from the Hattiesburg Convention Center. I'm Kelly Sanner reporting for Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, so Iris Barnes is live at the Cochran headquarters right now. Big victory party going on, as AP has called it, for Cochran.
Chris, we are definitely waiting for him any moment now. I was standing in front of the elevator, and one of the workers for the Children's Museum actually asked me to move, saying that they needed to keep that area clear. They were expecting Cochran to come through that door. So I am definitely in arm shot, and we are waiting as the crowd is with much anticipation to hear this victory speech.
Okay, well, it's just as soon as Senator Cochran comes out, we'll go back to you. We're going to try to keep you on the line if that is possible, in order to go back to you really quick in case Senator Cochran comes out. Have you been able to talk with Representative Harper at all?
We have not been able to get to him just yet, but he is still in the room, and we're told that he is actually going to make a speech as he did last time, just before Cochran does.
Okay, that's going to be interesting. I will try to get those live for you right here on Super Talk Mississippi. The News Mississippi crew covering the election tonight, just waiting for the victory speech now from Senator Cochran.
News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 6:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 6 o'clock hour. That's the sound from the Thad Cochran victory party at the Mississippi Children's Museum Tuesday night. The senator just squeaked by State Senator Chris McDaniel to win the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate.
We all have a right to be proud of our state tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you for this wonderful honor and wonderful challenge that lies ahead. Thank you very, very much.
And strong words from State Senator Chris McDaniel.
There is something a bit unusual about a Republican primary that's decided by liberal Democrat. So much for principle. I guess they can take some consolation in the fact that they did something tonight by once again compromising, by once again reaching across the aisle, by once again abandoning the conservative movement.
Chip Ward, News Mississippi.
You can hear McDaniel and Cochran's speeches at newsms.fm and full analysis. He did not exactly concede in that speech, would you say, Jared?
No, not at all. He didn't even mention Thad Cochran's name one time.
So I wouldn't exactly call that a concession speech. Even though
he ended it with "We'll see you soon."
Chelsea.
He didn't say whether or not he was going to support Cochran if he won or not.
Not at all. That's from News Mississippi's election night coverage.
News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 7:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 7 o'clock hour.
This is not the party of Reagan. No! But we're not done fighting. And when we're done, it will be.
A speech that showed a good bit of anger toward the Republican establishment. State Senator Chris McDaniel did not exactly concede Tuesday night, even though Senator Cochran won the runoff. McDaniel halfway saying maybe there could be a challenge.
As you know today, folks, there were literally dozens of irregularities reported all across this state. Before this race ends, we have to be absolutely certain that the Republican primary was won by Republican voters.
Senator Cochran's supporters include Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves.
But it was such a great night for people when they really thought we were down and out, thought Senator Cochran couldn't come back and win this election.
And Congressman Greg Harper.
People saw the reasons why they should vote for that. And that's what was done during the runoff.
Now he's got a Democrat challenger in the November general election. Douglas MacArthur McGee, a lawyer from Mendenhall, won the Democrat nomination for House District 3 in that party's runoff last night with 52% of the vote, beating Dennis Quinn. There's also an independent and a Reform Party candidate looking for Harper's seat. 7:05. In just 2 hours, it's McDaniel versus Cochran in court in Jones County. Courtney Carter is there.
Chris, here's what we can expect today. Maybe an ending to this, but maybe another stepping stone. McDaniel doesn't want another election. He just wants that nomination. But we could see a redo of the runoff. Either way this goes, the clock is ticking until September 20th. That's when the military ballots go out. A decision has to be made soon. I'm Courtney Carter, News Mississippi.
You can follow it on Twitter at @news_MS. Still no trial date, but they're working on it in the McDaniel versus Cochran Senate race case. Likely to be middle of September.
At the Jones County Courthouse Wednesday, News Mississippi wanted to know how you feel, and boy, did you speak up.
I have never saw as dirtier, underhanded things in no campaign than Thad Cochran pool.
What I'm hoping is that we find the truth. It's the only way that we're going to come out of this alive as a party.
I would like to see what the truth is.
Actually, it wasn't Thad Cochran, it was Haley Barber.
Courtney Carter, News Mississippi.
5, and it's McDaniel versus Cochran in court. The end could be near, or this could be just the beginning.
News Mississippi was at the hearing in Jones County, and the trial for McDaniel's challenge may not happen until mid-September. That's when the military votes are supposed to go out, but Mitch Tyner tells News Mississippi that hopefully that won't be a problem.
The ballots will still go out. What we would like to do is to have this challenge completed by November so that the correct ballot goes out.
A schedule for the trial should be released by the end of the week. Courtney Carter, News Mississippi.
It's 6:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 6 o'clock hour. What might have been a tornado in Humphreys, Holmes, and Atala counties Thursday night, caught on video. National Weather Service meteorologist Joanne Coolin, damage.
Reports of trees and power lines down.
Survey teams expected there today to see just how strong the storm was. But you need to get ready for more.
More significant severe weather expected starting late Sunday night, going through Tuesday night, multiple rounds.
Tornadoes, flooding, hail, all expected with those storms.
It's Super Talk Mississippi and supertalk.fm. News. The Magnolia State's most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 6:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 6 o'clock hour.
That's when I started getting scared. You could see the flashes and the building was just shaking, and you're thinking, I'm ready, Lord, here I come.
It's the same storm that hit Arkansas and killed 16 people there Sunday that's coming into Mississippi today, and you need to be prepared. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark McAllister says there's a tornado watch for the Delta all the way from Memphis to Vicksburg. You can expect more watches and warnings to start up later today. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the tornadoes possibly being long track and strong. Still looking at that?
We're still looking at that, especially with all the wind blowing through the atmosphere.
MEMA is saying you need to have a way to get those warnings. Here's MEMA Director Robert Latham.
So the idea is have a communication plan, know how you're going to get your alert.
Now, you can get a NOAA weather radio for about $30 at the Walmart, Walgreens, or Radio Shack. News Mississippi meteorologist Todd Adams, what's causing this rotten weather?
Cold air and warm air do not want to be together in the same spot. It's like oil and water. So when a cold front marches through the southeast, or anywhere for that matter, where the air is warm and humid, there is going to be a reaction. From just having puffy clouds form to the other end of the extreme, tornadoes and hail.
Use the hashtag NewsMSSevere to report damage. tornado watch in the Delta, and you can expect more watches and warnings today. It's the same storm system that killed people with tornadoes in Arkansas Sunday.
We just seen a black cloud and we pulled over, and then the wind came and broke our window and we just flew.
Here's the tornado watch. Bolivar, Carroll, Grenada, Holmes, Humphreys, Issaquena, LaFleur, Montgomery, Sharkey, Sunflower, Warren, Washington, Webster, and Yazoo counties until noon. Nasty storms in the northwest Delta right now. Those had severe thunderstorm warnings in the past hour. News Mississippi meteorologist Todd Adams, what to expect.
But that cold front's moving east. For central and north Mississippi, there's a moderate risk for severe weather. For south and along the coast, a slight risk. You do need to be prepared for straight line winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes, and some of these individual storms could put down about 2 to 4 inches of rain, so flooding's going to be an issue.
Some of those tornadoes could be strong and long-tracked on the ground for a long time. News Mississippi's got you covered today with the storms, but you also need a NOAA weather radio, where you can find them at newsms.fm. And if you want to tweet us pics or damage reports, use hashtag NewsMSSevere. Fire Saturday in Picayune.
And by Manatee, you are under the gun. This is a tornado emergency northeast of Tupelo. It has passed through. They were saying it went around the mall and that type of area. Not seeing any information about any destruction yet that we know of. But very strong rotation just southeast of Winona, west of Durant. They say this could produce a tornado at any time now. There's a tornado warning still in effect for Madison County. That one, they're saying, going to go up around the Camden-Sharon area right now. So, really all I can tell you, they're saying several tractor trailers blown off of the highway at a busy intersection in Tupelo where the tornado passed. I'm not sure if we're even on the air right now. In Tupelo at the point, we could not be, just depending on the power, but Manatee, those areas north of Tupelo, be on the lookout. This is a tornado emergency.
You got to get undercover right now. Going to go to Holmes County right now. You're going to need to seek shelter. Once again, I want to remind you what you need to do in a tornado situation. The best thing to do is be underground if you can. If you don't have a basement, then you need to be on the first floor of your house, the lowest floor, and you need to have as many walls as you can between you and the tornado. And you need to have, like, your cushions off your couch or a mattress or pillows, something to put over your head so that you don't feel silly for doing it, because, these tornadoes, a lot of times you hear Doppler radar indicated tornadoes. You need to take those just as seriously as you do the ones on the ground, because they can drop at any moment. You need to be in the hall, or you need to be in the interior room of your house. Maybe you have a safe room. Many new houses are being built with safe rooms now. Those are a very good idea.
Chris, I've even seen some studies, and as silly as this sounds, but if you have a helmet, any type of helmet,
they protect you if you're in a bike wreck.
They could put anything on, whether it's a bike helmet, football helmet, motorcycle helmet. I've seen some studies as far as that's concerned, and actually some shows about that. And in a situation like that, what's it going to hurt exactly if you think about it that way?
Now, Rhino, if Matt's still on the line, let's go to Matt Wyatt.
Hey, guys.
Okay, Matt, this is your show, I guess we could say. So we'll just let you talk to us for just a few minutes, if you can, about what you're seeing in Tupelo right now.
Well, and again, just know that my vantage point of things are through my windows at my home, because, like I say, what are we now, 30 minutes, 40 minutes since it passed through Tupelo and did some damage, and we were hunkered down as a family in our safest room in the middle of our house. I will tell you that some of the pictures of damage that you are seeing surface on Twitter right now, one of those I retweeted from my Twitter account, is @MaroonWyatt, but you'll see some of the others. There's a picture that you're seeing that compares a place called Hammer's Wings before and after. Guys, those pictures of those damages that you're seeing at that intersection is in Tupelo on Gloucester Street, North Gloucester, where it intersects with Green Street on one side, on the east side, and Lakeshire on the west side. That is right at that intersection.
This is near the mall, right?
Gloucester, yes, that intersection on Gloucester is, JT, it's about maybe a mile and a half south of the mall at Barnes Crossing. So, that's on the north side. It's not quite at the mall, but it's on the north side, up on a hill as compared to kind of where the mall is located. And
hey, Matt.
It's really scary for us.
Let me get this one to you, Chris. Tornado warning now for southern Chickasaw County till 4:15. National Weather Service Doppler radar. Severe thunderstorm with a tornado 23 miles southwest of Houston, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour, northeast 45 miles an hour. Houston and Okolona getting ready to be under the gun on this one. That's really the one that they're really putting it out about right now.
That's the one that's coming out of Webster County.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where the tornado that was confirmed on the ground near Walthall just a little while ago. Got a hook echo showing up on radar right now, pretty pronounced hook echo, and it's about to cross Highway 15. Highway 15 south of Manatee and north of Maben.
You know, that's the one that pay attention as far as that's concerned. Now, Matt, back to what you were saying with the damage.
Yes, just telling you that's all.
Did we lose Matt Wyatt? Okay. You never know. When you got a tornado situation like that, cell phone service, we were probably lucky to get him as long as we did because, that you start to get jammed up with people checking on everybody else. So we'll see if we can get Matt back here in just a few minutes.
Well, Chris, they're also saying that the Outback Steakhouse in Tupelo has been destroyed. Some damage at the mall there as well.
Yeah, so if you don't live in Tupelo, if you've ever been to Barnes Crossing Mall, that's the area where the tornado hit, just south of there. So a lot of those structures that you're probably familiar with if you're a visitor to Tupelo, if you have been a visitor to Tupelo, taking some big hits. Chelsea, Corona, anything on the ground right now besides those couple of storms that we just mentioned?
I'm not seeing anything else other than what we just said, but I am getting reports that additional storms are developing back up towards the southwest. So areas that have already been hit, you're not out of the clear yet. You could possibly be hit again. So just really be aware, stay protected, and stay under cover.
Yeah, so right now looking like storms, and you're still under a tornado watch, by the way, even if you're not under tornado warning. So, okay, guys. We have Jan Stanley with American Family Radio there in Tupelo. Jan on the line. Jan, I hope that American Family Radio is okay. Hope you're okay. What can you tell us?
Well, there is a
Jim,
lot
pardon
of power
me.
out in the city of Tupelo, obviously, and then the station, the network station's okay. We are on the air here, but I heard you guys, and you were trying to get a hold of someone here, so I thought I'd jump in real quick. I have talked to the police department here in Tupelo. There are no fatalities at this time. Power is out throughout the city, and there's heavy damage from West Jackson Street over to McCullough Boulevard for those who are familiar with the local area. Gloucester is closed. McCullough is closed at the Trace. You can't get through to South Gloucester. Outback Steakhouse is gone. Vanelli's Vanelli's Italian restaurant has had severe damage. There are multiple trees down on houses and, of course, on power lines as such. And so it's a pretty good mess here right now. And obviously, if you're not trying to get home or don't live here, it'd be best to keep traffic down because they aren't letting anyone through into the severely damaged areas. And there's a good bit of damage out towards Barnes Crossing Mall as well.
Well, Jim, first of all, sorry about the name mix-up. Jim Stanley with American Family Radio. Thanks for the report. And you say, as far as you know right now, nobody killed.
Right. According to the Tupelo Police Department, who I talked to just a few minutes ago, there are no fatalities at this time in Tupelo.
I had a report of a structure fire a little while ago, too. Do you know anything about that?
No, sir. I'm sorry, I don't. The Trace has been opened back up partially through Tupelo, and then, like I said, West Jackson Street is closed. You can't get through to Gloucester Street down through there. Mississippi Highway Patrol, Lee County Sheriff's Department, several other fire departments are in town, I can tell you that. I noticed that Palmetto Volunteer Fire Department had come in and they were trying to help. So right now it's just a matter of folks are trying to get trying to get out of the way, and then, obviously trying to find out about friends and loved ones.
Jim Stanley with American Family Radio, based out of Tupelo.
most trusted statewide news source. 24 hours. News Mississippi.
It's 6:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 6 o'clock hour.
It sounded like a big train just hit the side of the house.
Tornadoes in Tupelo, Louisville, Richland, and Madison Monday. At least 8 people are dead. As many as 9 tornadoes touched the ground in the outbreak. You'll hear from survivors in just a minute. But first, National Weather Service meteorologist Mark McAllister. Any more tornadoes today?
I don't think it's going to be as many tornadoes as it was yesterday, but we're under a moderate risk for the east. It'll be mainly for this afternoon.
Louisville.
The Winston Medical Center has received damage.
The Winston Medical Center took a direct hit from a twister that killed at least 6 people in Winston County. These ladies were in the hospital.
Got our employees and what patients we had in the clinic in the safest place we could get. We were all huddled down.
Tupelo. A large wedge tornado touched down and went through a busy and crowded area of the city. Richard Cross was in the area south of the Barnes Crossing Mall.
There were houses with trees through the roofs. Cars had trees on top of them. A lot of personal property damaged, and there were people who lost absolutely everything. Certainly the rebuilding process in Tupelo is going to take a long time.
All of the damage assessments still early, and today crews were expected to continue the search for survivors and begin the cleanup efforts after all the damage is tallied. In just a moment, you'll hear from Richland and Madison. Tupelo and Louisville weren't the only places hit by twisters. Direct hits in the Jackson metro area. There was a tornado that hit Richland. One woman was killed as she drove down Highway 49 and her car got tossed off the highway and into a field. This is a resident of the area.
It just so happened we heard a large boom and a tree fell on our house. Our porch fell in, the windows broke, and me and my kids was off to the room next to the tree.
And this is Richland Mayor Russell James.
If you can stay home, stay home. Please don't be out looking and trying to see what's going on. It's a mess. Don't get caught up in the middle of this.
The Lake Caroline area in Madison also taking a direct hit. The message is do not go into these damaged areas if you don't have business there. The Mississippi National Guard has been called out to help local law enforcement enforce that decree. Reports will still be coming in today, but you can check out the damage that's been tallied so far at newsms.fm. You've got News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis. It's 7:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 7 o'clock hour.
It's raining debris. This is a large, violent tornado. There's all sorts of stuff falling out of the sky.
Tornado outbreak.
Getting littered right now with
Louisville, Tupelo, Madison, Richland, flooding in South Mississippi.
And we saw it come down, and he told me to get out and run, and all I heard was that fuse box back there busting, a whole bunch of wind coming.
That's from Tupelo, where popular restaurants were wiped out, maybe 150 homes destroyed, and in Lee County, at least 1 person died. It was another tornado in Louisville that killed at least 6 people. It hit the Winston Medical Center, where these ladies work.
We honestly felt God's hand of protection around us. The clinic is destroyed, but we're all safe.
And we were all praying the whole time.
The storms didn't stop there. There may have been as many as 9 tornadoes to hit Mississippi Monday. Another one in Madison in the Lake Caroline area, and one in Richland, where a woman was killed when her car was picked up and tossed into a field while she drove down Highway 49.
We was outside a moment before it hit, and like all you seen was lightning, and the next one was like a big old explosion just hit the house.
There was also flooding in Jones County overnight as heavy rains came through. That was the same line of storms that caused the tornado outbreak. In just a moment, you'll hear about chances for more storms today. Getting the power back on. It's what power crews are working on this morning. Entergy says they had about 4,300 customers out last night in Tupelo, where they're served by TVA. Power is on in some parts of town.
Downtown Tupelo is lit up as normal.
Craig Horton reporting.
Although, the curfew is imposed, and I saw a lot of law enforcement officers out that were out all night, blocking off areas and watching really for looters and that type thing.
The hidden dangers of tornado cleanup. If you find a gas leak, Atmos says you should call them immediately. That number is 866-322-8667, or call 811 before you try to move any piles of debris. And if you're part of an emergency crew, that counts for you too. Jones County, Sandersville, a tornado reported there overnight by the Sheriff's Department. Here's Deputy Jack Armstrong.
We had trees, power lines, tornado hit, damaged some homes. Luckily, just minor injuries. We had one case, a mobile home was overturned with family inside. We did get them out with minor injuries, a lot of flash flooding, a lot of rain.
He said the twister left Jones County and went into Wayne County. Nobody killed in that one. 7:03 with News Mississippi. I'm Chris Davis with what you need to know for the 7 o'clock hour.
There it is. Big tornado.
There were 27 tornado touchdowns in Mississippi Monday. The National Weather Service saying today the worst one was in Winston County and Louisville, where 9 people died.
We've had a total of 12 fatalities confirmed.
That's MEMA Director Robert Latham from a news conference Tuesday afternoon. Search and rescue still happening.
Mississippians are known for being resilient in the wake of tragedy. We have overcome unprecedented challenges in the past, and we will do so again. Nature's wrath may be fierce, but the American spirit will move us forward.
Senator Roger Wicker on the Senate floor Tuesday in D.C. He and Senator Cochran promising all they can get from federal help. If you want to help, there's lots you can do. Visit newsms.fm and supertalk.fm/help. You can send a box of supplies to Louisville, too. They need lots of stuff.
But that may not be your quickest bet to help out.
The best thing they can do is make a monetary donation to the American Red Cross.
Patty Tucker's with the Red Cross in Tupelo, and that's because it takes time and money to transport the goods when they could just be bought in the area.
You know, we're being flooded with water and things like that.
And if you're looking to volunteer, the Red Cross is asking you to contact the United Way. Chip Ward, News Mississippi.
It's 7:05. You're going to be hearing a lot about John Servati, a Tupelo native who died in the Tuscaloosa tornado.
He and others, his girlfriend included, were seeking shelter in a basement. A wall began to crumble, and he did everything he could to hold the wall up and shield his girlfriend from that area, and ultimately was crushed and lost his life. Died a hero.
Richard Cross. National Day of Prayer. It was Thursday, and if the storm victims are at the top of your prayer list, you're probably like most Mississippians.
I would ask that you remember, not only now, but in the weeks and months to come, those families. Now, we pray for those that have survived, those that carry on.
It's Governor Phil Bryant at the state capitol. You can pray about it, but you can also get up and do something to help. These were the sounds in Tupelo.
Tupelo, normally a destination city for fans of Elvis, classic car enthusiasts, and festivals. This week, visitors here for a very different reason.
We brought gloves, we brought water, we brought everything we would need to be able to knock out this neighborhood. We're just glad to be able to be here to help.
That's volunteer Chris Hill from a Scottsboro, Alabama church in downtown Tupelo. Craig Horton for News Mississippi.